Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Finally, we are coming to you once again from Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. After a long stretch of games on the road, the Scouts return to their home ballpark as they entertain the Lake Erie Monarchs here this evening. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Well, Riley, it feels good to be back in the friendly confines of Grady's Field. Meanwhile, the Scouts coming off of a rough go at it in Richmond as they dropped two straight to the Jazz. It wasn't that the pitching was all that bad. It was that the offense wasn't as explosive as we've seen in parts of this season.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the Scouts offense really put up some runs against teams, but they just really couldn't get anything going against the Jazz offensively. They couldn't get into a rhythm. They would get base runners, but they couldn't just really bring them in. So Scouts today, they're going to have to get base runners, and they're going to have to bring them in somehow.
Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups for both teams. First, starting with the visiting Monarchs. Batting leadoff and playing at third base will be Caleb Ballgard. And the shortstop, Alex Lambeau, is going to be batting second tonight for the Monarchs. Designated hitter Robert Bell will bat third. John O'Keefe, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Jake Goudreau, the catcher, will bat fifth. Andrew Dyke, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Casey O'Loughlin, the center fielder, will bat seventh. Keegan Watson, the right fielder, will bat eighth. And Will Parker, the second baseman, will bat ninth. And they will go to work against the right-hander Ben Bills. His first pitch of the night is inside for a ball. We're underway here at Grady's Field. Bills, the right-hander out of Nyack College, rocks and deals, and his 1-0 in there for a called strike on the inside corner. So 1-1 the count to Caleb Ballgard, playing at third base tonight for the Monarchs, and he sends a grounder over to third. Brown's throw over to first, high, but Eater comes down with it, slaps the tag on Ballgard for the first out of the game.
Great job by Eater, getting a great jump to get that ball and putting the tag on the runner. Those plays are really tricky to do, and Eater was able to get that off.
So now Alex Lambeau, the shortstop, will come to the plate. Lambeau, a .269 batter, 2 homers, and 12 knocked in for these Monarchs. Just underway here at Grady's Field as Bills goes through the windup and the pitch. And this is popped up foul towards us, out of play. 0-1 the count on Lambeau. So we get to see Ben Bills on the mound once again for the Scouts. Bills making his 5th start of the season, 9th appearance overall for the Scouts as that pitch is up high. Did he go? No, he did not upon further review. Bills comes in here with a earned run average of 9.32. In 28 innings pitched, he has struck out 12 and walked 7. And here is a line drive to left field, a base knock for the shortstop Lambeau. First hit of the game for either team. A 1-out base runner now for the Monarchs.
Yeah, Bills, we don't normally see Bills walk a lot of batters, but we do see him get hit on a lot, so it's going to be pivotal for him to, if he does get hit, to try to keep innings manageable and not let anything snowball.
So now Robert Bell, the designated hitter, comes to the plate for the Monarchs. Lefty batter against the right-handed throwing Ben Bills. Bills will deliver, and that pitch is outside for a ball as he was trying to hit the outside corner with the fastball. Robert Bell, native of Palm Coast, Florida, plays his college ball at Bethune-Cookman. Sophomore at Bethune-Cookman, as that is swung on and missed. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bell, a switch hitter. So right now he is a lefty batting against Bills, but if a left-hander does come in for the Scouts at some point, he will bat from the right side. The pitch from Bills. 1-1 is outside for a ball. 2-1 the count on Bell, who comes in here tonight batting .328, 3 homers and 16 knocked in. He's had a fine season for these Lake Erie Monarchs. Bill sets, now throws over to first. Runner back just barely, that being Lambeau. 1 out here in the top half of the first. Runner at first base. Bell, the 3-hitter, playing in the designated hitter role tonight for the Monarchs. Here's the pitch. That is swung on and missed by Bell as the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, picture perfect night for baseball. Not really a cloud in the sky. Blue skies overhead. Temperatures, they were pushing up against 90. But the good news is that that killer humidity is virtually gone as that pitch is down low, blocked in the turf by Jarrett Lindsey. And now we'll go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Robert Bell. Sean O'Keefe waiting on deck for the Monarchs as Lambeau will take his lead off of first. Scouts infield in at double play depth. Looking to turn 2 here in this situation. Bill set at the belt. Now the pitch. And here's a fly ball out to right field. Boswell will race in. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Bill's did a good job of working Bell there with his pitches. He really mixed inside and outside pitches and ultimately was able to pop up Bell. And when you mix up your pitches like that, it definitely keeps the hitter guessing.
So now Sean O'Keefe will come to the plate. O'Keefe plays his college ball at Western Michigan, home of the Broncos. Native of Saline, Michigan, sophomore for the Broncos, 6'4", 235. So he cuts an impressive figure up there at the plate, batting from the right side against Bills, and he'll take a pitch outside from Bills. 1-0 the count. 2 out here in the top half of the first. Setting up to be a gorgeous night for baseball between the Scouts and the Monarchs. That's a ground ball up the third baseline, foul. Quick look at the Scouts defensively. Welch in left field, Murray in center, Boswell in right. Truman Brown's the third baseman, Nick Tuttle at shortstop, Zach Bacon the second baseman, and Caleb Eater at first base. Lindsey is the man behind the plate at the catcher position, and Bill's the aforementioned pitcher on the mound starting for the Scouts this evening. Pickoff throw to first, Lambeau back in plenty of time. Lambeau with a single earlier in this inning as O'Keefe waits on the 1-1. Here it comes, and it is inside for a ball. 2-1 the count on Sean O'Keefe. O'Keefe has pitched a little bit for the Monarchs. He has hit a little bit as well. 313, a homer, and 15 knocked in. The pitch, and that'll be caught by Nick Tuttle to end the inning. Line 6 in the scorebook. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base for the Monarchs. Lake Erie nothing. Scouts coming to bat here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Lake Erie nothing. Xenia coming to bat here in the bottom half of the first. Welcome to this presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman coming to you from Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup for the Scouts today. Batting leadoff and playing in center field for Xenia will be Cam Murray. Nick Tuttle, the shortstop, will bat second. Graham Welch, the left fielder, will bat third. Caleb Eater will bat cleanup, and he'll play at first base. Ryan Bertelsmann, the designated hitter, will bat fifth. Jarrett Lindsey, the catcher, will bat sixth. Zach Bacon, the second baseman, will bat seventh. Truman Brown, the third baseman, he'll bat eighth. And the nine-hitter will be the right fielder, Carter Boswell. Already talked about Ben Bills being on the mound for the Scouts, and now we turn our attention to Brody Heil, the left-hander on the mound for the Lake Erie Monarchs this evening. Heil hails from LaGrange, Kentucky. 6'4", 195-pound lefty out of the University of Louisville. A sophomore with the Cardinals, making his fifth start of the season for the Monarchs this summer. And so far, he has tallied an 0-3 record to go along with a 7.52 earned run average. And 20 and a third innings pitched, he has struck out 23 and walked 6. And Heil is definitely looking for a much better result than he got in his previous start. Went 5 and a third against Irish Hills, giving up 7 runs, all of them earned, on 10 hits while striking out 4 and walking 2. So, after Heil is able to complete his warm-up tosses on the mound, he will now go to work against Cam Murray, the Youngstown State product. Penguin outfielder playing center field tonight for the Scouts, and he has become a more and more familiar presence atop the Scouts batting order. Here comes the pitch from Heil, and that's in their first strike. 0-1 the count to Cam Murray. Murray having a fine season for the Scouts from a batting perspective, 362, one homer and 8 knocked in as he takes another strike from Heil, and now Murray is at an 0-2 hole. Scouts going with their navy blue tops today with white pants. The Monarchs, meanwhile, pinstripe gray sleeveless jerseys as that pitch is fouled off to the right. Gray pants as well. Green letters and numbers with Monarchs across the front of the jersey. And the hat is quite a hit Murray on the shoulder. Ducks out of the way of that one. 1-2 the count. And by the way, the sleeves are also navy blue as well. And the Monarchs all wearing the high socks. Looks like green stirrups with blue and white in them. As that pitch is down low for a ball to Cam Murray as the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Murray batting from the right side. Waiting on the 2-2 from Heil. Heil winds and throws. And Murray swings and hits a grounder over to shortstop. The throw from Lambeau will be in time. And one gone here in the bottom half of the first for Xenia.
Number 9, Nick Tuttle.
With Nick Tuttle coming to the plate, a quick look now at the Monarchs defense. Dyke, the left fielder, O'Loughlin in center, Watson in right field. Ball guard at third base, Lambeau the shortstop, Prater at second, O'Keefe at first base. Goudreau is the catcher behind the plate, and Heil out there on the mound for the Monarchs. The pitch, and that is taken for a strike by Nick Tuttle. Tuttle hitting at a blistering 365 on the season. No homers, 15 knocked in. Does have 3 doubles and a triple on the season. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. This will be the start of a short 2-game series between both the Monarchs and the Scouts. Both these teams will be back at it here at Grays Field Friday night, 7:05 first pitch, and we hope that you will join us for that presentation of Senior Scouts baseball when we get to it. But in the meantime, both these teams, one team hailing from the Northern Division, that being the Monarchs, the Scouts, meanwhile, hailing from the Southern Division of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. 2-1 pitch. Catches the inside corner for a call strike. So now it is 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Tuttle. Graham Welch waiting on deck for Xenia. Heil with the wind and the pitch. And Tuttle swings and fouls it off to the right.
First time up, he likes to get a good view of that pitcher. So right here, he's going to try to win this battle.
Plenty of sunshine to go around here. He's field the 2-2. That is swung on and missed by Tuttle as he becomes a strikeout victim. 2 gone here in the bottom of the first.
Number 7, Graham Welch.
And now Graham Welch will come to the plate. The outfielder hitting 277. 1 homer, 9 knocked in. Now, normally we see Graham playing center, but since they got Cam Murray playing that position tonight, they moved good old Graham over to left field. Heil with the pitch, and Welch swings and misses at that one. 0-1 the count. Heil quickly has his sign. 0-1. Welch swings and misses at that one. Boy, the bottom fell out of that breaking pitch. 0-2 the count now on Welch.
Yeah, Heil's been working his breaking pitch really well here early in counts against the Scouts.
The pitch, and Welch swings and misses. They will throw down to first to complete the strikeout. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Graham Welch as the Scouts go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first. We head to the top half of the second. Still no score between the Monarchs and the Scouts here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. We head now to the top half of the second here at Grady's Field. We still got no score between the Scouts and the Monarchs. First time the Lake Erie and Xenia have hooked up here on a baseball field here in 2018. And now the catcher for the Monarchs, Jake Goudreau. He's set to lead things off here against Ben Bills. Bills only allowing a single in his first inning of work, and hopefully that is a harbinger of things to come here this evening. So Goudreau, the catcher, batting from the left side. A native of Southwick, Massachusetts, plays his college ball for Boston College. So he's an Eagle. Bills with the pitch, and that'll be a grounder over to first. Eater bobbling it, recovers, racing to the bag, beats Goudreau to the bag for the first out of the inning.
Good job by Eater there, sticking with the play. Play's never over until you make that out, and Eater doing a good job recovering from that little bobble.
So now Andrew Dyke, the left fielder, coming to the plate. Dyke, a native of Alsip, Illinois, and he attends Illinois, the University of Illinois Champaign to be more specific. And the pitch is down low for a ball. Sophomore over there at Illinois. Dyke is 3 homers, 7 knocked in, 250 batter. He'll swing and miss at the breaking stuff by Bills. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Dyke, 6 foot, 195 pounds. 1-1 outside from Bills, trying to hit the outside corner with the fastball as the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. And boy, both pitchers are working at a furious pace so far as Bills quickly back at it. That's down low for a ball. And the count will move to 3 balls and 1 strike. Casey O'Loughlin, the center fielder, waiting on deck for the Monarchs. Bills, meanwhile, looks in for a sign. Here is the 3-1 pitch. And that is fouled off. So now we'll go full 3 balls and 2 strikes on Andrew Dyke. Shadows starting to creep in here at Grady's Field. And once again, beautiful weather here tonight in Xenia. Perfect night to play the game of baseball. The pitch. That is up high for a ball. That's the first walk of the night for a Monarchs batter. First walk of the night for Ben Bills as well. A 1-out base runner for Lake Erie. So now Casey O'Loughlin is coming to the plate. O'Loughlin, a sophomore out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, as he takes a ball from Bills. And he is a Northwestern Wildcat. 6'1", 210-pounder. Batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Bills. Bills now with the pitch, and that is a liner into right field for a single. So a walk by Dyke, and then a single by O'Loughlin. And now the Monarchs here are in business here offensively with 1 out.
And Bills needs to do a better job of finishing his pitches. He's not quite bearing down as well as he can. And that's why he's leaving a couple pitches up in the zone, and that's why he walked Dyke and just gave up that hit to O'Loughlin, I should say there.
So now Keegan Watson, the right fielder, will come to the plate. Watson also hails from Big Ten country, plays for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, as now Bills will step off the mound, and he'll get back on the pitching rubber. Although Watson is a native of Fountaintown, Indiana. Bills now with the pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Still no score between the Scouts and the Monarchs, but Lake Erie now threatening here in the top half of the second. Runners at first and second, and only 1 gone here in the frame. Bills with the pitch, and it is fouled off to the right, out of play. Counting even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Watson, the batter at the plate. And so far this year for Lake Erie, he has batted .158, no homers, and 3 knocked in. Bills with the high leg kick in the pitch. This is skied into center field. Murray racing in, but he'll give way to the shortstop, Tuttle. Nick squeezes it for the 2nd out.
Just what the doctor ordered for Ben Bills there. Put that breaking pitch low in the zone, and usually those low breaking pitches cause pop-ups like that. And a little sky ball, very easily corralled by Tuttle there. So now Ben Bills, even though he's in a little bit of a jam, he now has 2 outs.
So now Will Prater comes to the plate for the Monarchs. Native of Dallas, not Texas, Georgia. Pitch by Bills in their first strike. Prater currently plays his college ball at Western Carolina University, 6'2", 160-pounder. And on the season, he's batted .224, no homers, and only one run batted in. Bills with the pitch. Outside. 1-1 the count now on Will Prater. The runner at first is Casey O'Laughlin. The runner at second is Andrew Dyke. The pitch. Outside for a ball. 2-1 the count now on Will Prater. Well, so far, Bills has had the mitt popping here tonight. One of his goals this season was to work on his velocity here in 2018 while playing for the Scouts. Bills now sets at the bell. 2-1. Here's a grounder. Out to second. Bacon, up with it. Throw to first. In time. And that's how the inning will end for Lake Erie. No runs, a hit, and a couple men left on base for the Monarchs. We head to the bottom half of the second. Still no score between the Monarchs and the Scouts here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We now head to the bottom half of the second. Still looking for a score. 0-0 between the Scouts and the Monarchs here at Grady's Field. Charlie Davis, Riley Harshman bringing the action tonight from beautiful Xenia, Ohio. As Caleb Eater, the Scouts batter, the first baseman tonight for Xenia, goes to work against the lefty Brody Heil, and Heil delivers a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Eater recently selected as an all-star in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League for his prowess on the mound. He hasn't been too bad at the plate either. 317. Homer came via a solo shot last night in the loss to Richmond and 5 RBIs. Eater takes a pitch down low. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike on Eater. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters scheduled up here for the Scouts. Brody Heil with the pitch, and that catches the outside corner once again. 2-2 the count now on Caleb Eater. Ryan Bertelsman waiting on deck for the Scouts. Or 2-1, excuse me. Heil with the pitch, and Eater swings and sends it into left field for a base hit. Just under the glove that time of the third baseman Ballsguard. Eater will certainly take it. First hit of the night for Xenia.
Good piece of hitting there with 2 strikes on Eater. Got a ball low and in the middle of the zone. Was able to pull it out to left field. Good piece of hitting.
So now Ryan Bertelsman, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. As Bertelsman continues to pile up some really good offensive numbers for the Scouts this year. The native of Friendswood, Texas, taking a strike from the lefty Heil. 0-1 the count. Bertelsman batting .333, no homers, 7 knocked in, and 17 stolen bases on the year. As that pitch is in for a strike, and Bertelsman now finds himself in an 0-2 hole against the southpaw Heil. Infield, outfield, playing Bertelsman straight up. Heil has his sign. 0-2. That is a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Bertelsman goes down on 3 straight pitches, 1 gone.
And with Eater on first, the Scouts, during this rough stretch that they've been on, they've struggled scoring early in games. So with that first base runner of the game and the core of the order up now, you'd think the Scouts would love to get a run or 2 on the board and try to establish their dominance here at home.
Jarrett Lindsey, the catcher, plays his college ball at Point Loma Nazarene University, native of Upland, California. Takes a pitch outside for a ball from Heil. Lindsey on the year, 279, a homer and 5 knocked in. Runner at first is Caleb Beater. Here's the 0-1. That is in there for a call strike. And now the count is no balls and 2 strikes on Jarrett Lindsey. Lindsey quickly back into the batter's box. And Heil set of the belt. The 0-2. That is a strike. And wait a second. I thought that should have been strike 3 right there. Well, apparently, count is 1-2. Okay. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled off.
Heil here is working at a very aggressive pace, and keeping the Scouts hitters off balance is one thing you got to do with your pace, and with this speedy pace, he's done that.
Zach Bacon on deck for the Scouts. Heil at the belt and delivers, and Lindsey swings and misses. He becomes a strikeout victim. 2 gone now in the bottom of the second, and already 4 strikeouts for Brody Heil.
Scouts are definitely going to have to start putting balls in play, start trying to make things happen if they want to win this game here today.
So Eater started this inning off with a single, but since then, Bertelsman and Lindsey have become strikeout victims. Let's see what Zach Bacon does right here. Bacon swings and fouls it off to the right. Count is 0-1 on Zach. Zach out of Glenville State College, native of Seminole, Florida. On the year, no homers, 10 knocked in. 175 batting average. Does have a couple doubles here in 2018 for the Scouts. Here is the 0-1. And that's up high for a ball. 1-1 the count on Zach Bakeman. The runner at first is Caleb Eater. Scouts looking for a little 2-out magic here. At the bottom of the second, still scoreless between the Monarchs and the Scouts. 1-1. That is outside for a ball. 2-1 the count now on Zach Bacon. The center fielder, O'Loughlin, shaded slightly to his right, perhaps playing Bacon as a pull hitter. Other than that, everybody's pretty much straight up. 2-1. Bacon swings and sends a fly ball over to center field, and O'Loughlin actually had him play perfectly that time as he races in and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base for Xenia. 2 innings in the books here at Grady's Field. We head to the top half of the third with the Monarchs and the Scouts still scoreless here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
I got you. Good question, too. Cool.
Top half of the third here at Grady's Field. It is still a scoreless game between the Monarchs of Lake Erie and your Scouts of Xenia. And trotting out of the field late, by the way, is Tim Brown, the manager for the Monarchs. And now Ben Bills delivers, and that pitch is fouled down the third base line. Well, looks like somebody's not happy at the moment as that pitch fouled off to the left. 0-1 the count on Caleb Ballgard, the third baseman, grounding out the third, his first time up. Here's the pitch. Ballgard sends a grounder, and Ben Bills able to show some cat-like reflexes off the mound. Snags that one, tosses over to Caleb Eater for the first out of the frame. Nice play by Bills.
And a great play by Bills. Possibly saved an infield base hit there. We've talked about how those choppers that get over the pitcher's head and just die after that are very hard for those middle infielders to make, and Bill's just erasing all doubt there, making the play himself and getting the out.
Alex Lambo, the shortstop, now up for Lake Erie. He singled his last time up. And in just a moment, we will reveal to you tonight's trivia question. Ben Bills, meanwhile, with a pitch. That's down low for a ball. All right, Mr. Harshman, what do you have for us tonight?
So which of the following sluggers I'm about to name off led their league in strikeouts the most times?
The pitch, and it is fouled off to the left. Okay, sluggers who whiffed a lot. Go.
Options are Vince DiMaggio, Reggie Jackson, Mickey Mantle, and Jimmy Fox.
Alex Lambeau, meanwhile, waiting on the 1-1 pitch from Bills. And that is fouled off to the right. Give me the choices one more time.
Choices are Vince DiMaggio, Reggie Jackson, Mickey Mantle, and Jimmy Fox.
Lambeau waiting on the 1-2 from Bills. There's a grounder, and it'll sneak its way into left field for a base hit. Brown, the third baseman, was not able to get it. Neither was a diving Nick Tuttle. So, a one-out base runner. Second hit of the night, by the way, for Lambeau, and that will now bring up Robert Bell, the designated hitter. Bell on the night so far 0 for 1. Flew out to right field his first time up.
A good 1-2 pitch there from Ben Bills. Had that breaking ball exactly where he wanted it, exactly where Lindsey had it located, but Lambeau just better offense, able to get it through.
And the pitch is swung on and missed by Bell. 0-1 the count on the Monarchs' designated hitter. Lake Erie has had a decent year here in 2018 as the pitch from Bills is fouled off to the left by Robert Bell. Lake Erie entering play this evening high up there in the Northern Division standings. As Bell is waiting on the 0-2 pitch from Bills. And once again, it's fouled off to the left. Let's see here. Actually, I take that back. Lake Erie finds itself in the bottom of the Northern Division. They're 11-16, 6 games back of the division-leading Lima Locos and St. Clair Green Giants. Both those teams are in a virtual tie atop the Northern Division. As that pitch, actually, no, the throw over to first, not in time. Lambeau, the runner at first, back in plenty of time. Bills now sets at the belt. Here's the 0-2. And that is down low for a ball. 1-2 the count on Robert Bell. Sean O'Keefe waiting on deck for the Monarchs. Lake Erie 11-16. Meanwhile, the Scouts enter play tonight at 9-19. 12 games back of the division-leading Cincinnati Steam in the Southern Division. As that pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Robert Bell. The Scouts, boy, they have been in a really tough stretch of baseball lately. Losers of 15 of their last 18 games. Bills, meanwhile, with the pitch. Outside for a ball. Count out even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Robert Bell, the Bethune-Cookman product. Bills looks in for a sign. He has it. Sets at the belt once again, and the pitch. 2-2 pitch. Skied into right field. Boswell racing back, looking, and that will be off the base of the wall. Extra bases for Bell. They're going to send the runner home, and he is going to score. That is going to end up being an RBI triple for Robert Bell as Alex Lambeau comes all the way around to score from first. An early 1-0 lead for Lake Erie.
Number 40.
Bills left that pitch up in the zone, and Robert Bell just sent it for a ride. He kept it inside as well, so that's exactly what a hitter wants to see, a pitch high and inside, something they can drive out to their respective field, and that's exactly what Bell did and was able to stretch it into a triple.
And now Sean O'Keefe, the first baseman, he lined out to short to end the top half of the first. He now has a chance to drive in a run of his own. So Keefe 0 for 1 on the night so far. Meanwhile, Bills delivers, and this is a high pop-up, foul, out of play. 0-1 the count. So an early 1-0 lead for the Monarchs. They strike first thanks to an RBI triple by Robert Bell. And still only one gone here in the top half of the third. Bills with the pitch. That's inside. Actually, it hit the batter, O'Keefe. Got a piece of his midsection, so O'Keefe will now head down to first base. That'll bring Jake Goudreau, the catcher, to the plate. Grounded out to first his last time up. And now that gives the Monarchs runners at first and third. With still only one out here in the top half of the third. A run already in thanks to an RBI triple by Monarchs designated hitter Robert Bell. Bill's receiving a new baseball, and now he'll go to work against Goudreau, who, like many of his teammates on this Monarch squad, bat from the left side. The pitch. That is a strike. 0-1 the count. Bill's coming in with a nice breaking ball that time. Caught a piece of the outside corner as he gets ahead of Goudreau 0-1. Bills now sets at the belt. The 0-1. That is another good pitch on the outside corner. And now Goudreau finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
Bills has done a very good job this year with the Scouts of getting themselves out of sticky situations like the one he's in now. Let's see if he can do it once again here.
0-2 pitch. Swung on, out to left field. Welch under it, makes the catch. Throw back into the infield, and it is not in time. Strong throw by Welch, but it was not in time as Robert Bell was able to tag up from third and score on the play. Give Jake Goudreau an RBI on the sac fly to left. A 2-0 lead now for the Monarchs.
And Goudreau didn't even get all of that pitch there. He sent it out to deep left field, but they even swing all the way through on the bat there. If he would have swung all the way through, it might have been a lot more dangerous than what it was.
Andy Dyke now taking a strike on the inside corner. The Monarchs left fielder walking his last time up. Bills with the pitch. And this is skied on the Scouts infield. Who's going to call for it? Nick Tuttle will make the catch, and that'll be the final out of the frame. But 2 runs come across the plate on a couple of base hits. A man is left on base for Lake Erie. We head to the bottom half of the third. Monarchs 2, Scouts nothing here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the third here at Grady's Field. A 2-0 lead for the Monarchs. And apparently Lake Erie has made a substitution, I believe, over at third base. We're going to have to check some numbers here on the Monarchs roster. But I did see the home plate umpire point in the direction of third base. So we'll get you that player as soon as we can. Looks as though it might be Casey Slatery, if I make out a 44 on that jersey. In the meantime, Truman Brown coming to the plate for Xenia for the first time tonight. 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up here for Xenia. As lefty Brody Heil back to work for Lake Erie, and that pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count on Truman Brown. Heil quickly back to work. 0-1 swung on a miss, or 1-0 swung on a miss, excuse me. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown batting 189, 2 homers, and 11 knocked in. Batting from the right side against the southpaw throwing Heil. And that pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike as Heil moves ahead on the count. 1 ball 2 strikes. Carter Boswell waiting on deck for Xenia.
The Scouts batters are going to have to start trying to get at Heil a little bit, and they need to try to make him a little shaken up there. He looks way too confident.
And the pitch is swung on and missed by Brown. Strike 3, and 1 down here in the bottom of the third.
Number 2, Carter Boswell.
So now Carter Boswell will come to the plate. Boswell playing in right field as he customarily does for the Scouts here in 2018. 204 batter, no homers and 2 knocked in. And boy, the strikeouts continue to be racked up by Heil. He has now got 5 so far in the night. Boswell takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. And there right there is an example, ladies and gentlemen, of Heil getting ahead of the count, something that he has done to great aplomb so far here this evening. 0-1 pitch. That just misses the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, so far Heil's been locating his fastball very well, and we've seen a plethora of different type of breaking ball, off-speed pitches that have really put the Scouts batters for a loop.
1-1 pitch is outside for a ball. Heil now back on the pitching rubber. Boswell waiting on the 2-1. That's down low for a ball. 3-1 for Carter Boswell. Cam Murray waiting on deck for the Scouts. Boswell takes a deep breath. He'll tap home plate now as he enters the batter's box once again. 3-1. Boswell swings and misses, so now we'll go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shadows starting to creep in from the left side of the ballpark. 7:45 here in Xenia, Ohio. 3-2 pitch. And this is fouled off to the right. The Monarchs defense will give it a look, but it'll be out of play as Boswell stays alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes once again on the Scouts right fielder, Carter Boswell. 1 gone here in the bottom of the third. The Monarchs with a 2-0 lead. Thanks to an RBI triple by Robert Bell and an RBI sac fly by Jake Goudreau. Another foul ball off to the right, and another time that it leaves the yard, out of play. So, once again, Boswell will work with a 3-2 count against the left-hander, Brody Heil. Mentioned earlier in this game about how Heil was coming off of one of his worst performances, giving up 7 runs in his last start, but so far, he's looked pretty sharp here in Xenia. 3-2. Here's a grounder out to short. Lambeau with the pick, the throw, and it is in time for the second out of the inning.
Even though Boswell got out there, love the fight you saw from him. Saw 8 pitches from Heil, and that's the type of thing that will go a little farther into the game as the pitch count for Heil and trying for the Scouts trying to get him out of this game.
So now Cam Murray comes to bat once again for the Scouts. Grounded out to short his last time up. The pitch from Heil, and Murray skies it into right field. Watson is under it. He makes the catch, and the Scouts are down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third. We head to the top half of the fourth. Monarchs leading the Scouts 2-0 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the fourth here at Grady's Field in Xenia. The Scouts trailing the Monarchs of Lake Erie by a score of 2-0.
Number 33, Casey O'Laughlin.
Casey O'Laughlin, the center fielder, will come to the plate once again. He singled his last time up. The pitch by Bills. That's outside for a ball. Well, aside from the 2 runs that he gave up in the top half of the third, Bills has looked pretty solid on the mound for the Scouts so far. The pitch, and that is low for a ball. Missing with the breaking ball. 2-0 the count now on O'Loughlin. 7, 8, 9 hitters scheduled to bat here for the Monarchs. And here's a screamer down the right field line. Foul. 2-1 the count now on O'Loughlin. The Northwestern Wildcat back in the left-handed batter's box as they continue to try to get that foul ball situated. Looks like they have. So now O'Loughlin back to work against Bills. Here is the 2-1. And that is down low. 3-1 the count on O'Loughlin. Keegan Watson waiting on deck for Lake Erie. The pitch by Bills. Outside for a ball. So O'Loughlin gets on base for the second time tonight via a walk. And now Keegan Watson will come to the plate. Watson popped out to short his last time up. So far, not a lot of offense in this game. Scouts only have 1 hit. Monarchs only 2 runs on 4 hits. The pitch. Inside for a ball to Keegan Watson. And oh, by the way, this provides us an excellent chance to take another look at our trivia question tonight after this upcoming pitch. Bills, that's at the belt. 1-0 pitch. It is fouled off to the right. The runner was going O'Loughlin, by the way, as he was trying to steal second. Go ahead, Riley.
So which of these sluggers led their league in strikeouts the most times? Your options are Vince DiMaggio, Reggie Jackson, Mickey Mantle, and Jimmy Fox.
1-1 pitch upcoming here from Bills as Watson gets back into the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch, and did he go? Looks like he did, at least in the eyes of the home plate umpire. Actually, wait a second. They appealed down to the umpire in the field, and he said that he did not swing. So it's a 2-1 count, as a matter of fact. Bills with the pitch. Fouled off to the right. All right, Mr. Harshman, my guess is going to be the man that they dubbed Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. That's my final answer.
Close, but no cigar, partner. Jimmy Fox actually led the American League 7 times in strikeouts over his illustrious career.
2-2 pitch up coming from Ben Bills. That is the second time in as many nights that Jimmy Fox has got me with a trivia question. What is it with me and Double X? I tell you what. Throw over to first, and the runner's back in plenty of time. For those of you who may not have listened to last night's broadcast, we had a trivia question involving Mr. Fox, as that will be lined into left field for a base hit. Going to second and staying put there is O'Loughlin after the single by Keegan Watson. Fox was part of the trivia question last night as Will Prater getting set to dig in for the Monarchs once again. Groundout victim back in the second. And the question was, which of these sluggers had the most consecutive seasons, or 13 consecutive seasons, of at least 100 RBIs? And it turns out it was Fox. My guess last night was Stan the Man Musial. Not a bad guess considering all the great work he did at the plate for the St. Louis Cardinals, but nope. It was Double X, Jimmy Fox. As this ball is sliced into left field, Welch under it, makes the catch. Throw to home, and he is safe. Jarrett Lindsey made the catch, lunged back towards the right-handed batter's box as he tried to tag Casey O'Loughlin out on the play, but O'Loughlin was able to just sneak in there. It's now a 3-0 lead for Lake Erie.
And Bills leaving pitches up in the zone a little bit has gotten him into some trouble. Walked O'Loughlin, and then Watson with the hit that got O'Loughlin to third, and then that pop up scoring another run. So Bill's going to have to try to keep balls down in the zone if he wants to stay out there.
So a sac fly. And we were right. Casey Slattery is the man who will now bat leadoff as a pitch is fouled off the mask of Jared Lindsay, but it looks like he's okay. It was Caleb Ballgard who originally started at third base, but Slattery now comes in. 6'3", 220-pound sophomore out of UC Berkeley, Los Angeles, California native. 1-0 pitch. Down low for a ball. 2-0 the count now on Slattery. So the night is done for Ballgard. Slattery now the new third baseman. And by the way, give Will Prater an RBI on that sac fly a moment ago. Pitches down low for a ball. 3-0 the count now on Slattery. Actually, you know what? I think his last name might be pronounced Slattery. I hope somebody, either in the Slattery or the Slattery family, is listening to our broadcast. We'd love to know the pronunciation of Casey's name, as that is caught by Cam out there in center field. Boy, that could have been a dangerous play right there. If Cam Murray does not make that catch, that goes over his head and all the way to the wall out in center field. That would have been so far out there that Keegan Watson could have scored just by walking. But it goes down as the second out of the inning, thank goodness.
Cam with that jump there to make that catch, and thank God he did, because, like you said, it would have been a very, very rough play there for the Scouts.
Alex Lambeau swings and misses. Lambeau has already had a good night at the plate. Couple singles. Came around to score on the RBI triple by Robert Bell back in the third. Bills will set at the belt, and he'll deliver. That pitch is inside for a ball. 1-1 the count now on Alex Lambeau. And you know, I know we're broadcasting a baseball game, but every time I hear the word Lambeau, I think of the frozen tundra. Lambeau Field. As that pitch is drilled out to left field, that is going to be a foul ball. The frozen tundra, Lambeau Field. All you need is the voice of John Facenda, and you are there. But no, we're playing baseball tonight, as Lambeau is making a bid for already his third hit of the night. Bills, meanwhile, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. That is swung on and missed. And Bills is finally able to get out of the inning, but not before a run crosses the plate on 1 hit. And a man left on base as well for Lake Erie. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Monarchs leading the Scouts 3-0 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the fourth here at Grady's Field. We will get you scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League in just a moment. But in the meantime, we'd like to say a special thank you to one of our big sponsors here for Xenia Baseball, that being Snap Fitness. When the Scouts go work out, they work out at Snap Fitness. It is their mission to deliver the most rewarding fitness experience in the world. Snap Fitness, the official gym of the Xenia Scouts. Heil with the pitch, and Nick Tuttle fouls it off to the right. Nick was a strikeout victim swinging his first time up. 3-0 lead for the Monarchs here in the bottom half of the fourth. As the Scouts, boy, they continue to struggle getting the bats going. as that pitch is outside for a ball.
Yeah, Heil's off speed and breaking pitches have really been throwing the scouts for a loop so far this game. So the scouts are going to have to be a little more aggressive and try to attack his fastball.
1-1 pitch is swung on a miss. Looked like he went with a fastball that time, and Tuttle was not able to catch up to it. So now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Tuttle. Graham Welch waiting on deck for Xenia. Here's the 1-2. That is a called strike 3. Tuttle goes down looking. Second time that Tuttle has struck out tonight. And already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts on the night for the Southpaw Heil. So now they'll bring Graham Welch to the plate. He was one of those 6 strikeout victims in this game for Heil. That coming back in the first inning.
Scouts are going to have to try to shake Heil's confidence somehow here this inning or some innings soon, because the longer he stays up there with this type of confidence, who knows how long he can go.
Welch waiting on the pitch from Heil. Here it comes, and that's in there for a strike. Well, a doubleheader. How about this? Has already been completed by Licking County today. And the Settlers, unfortunately, come up short against Saginaw in both games as this pitch is lifted into left field. Dyke under it, and Dyke making the catch for the second out. Caleb Eater getting set to dig in for the Scouts. Saginaw taking the first game of the Twin Bill over in Newark by a score of 10-2. Much closer game in Game 2 of the Twin Bill. Saginaw edging Lincoln County in that one 3-2. Top half of the fourth in Lima. Locos are currently being shut out by Cincinnati 3-0. As Heil pitches and Eater swings and misses 0-1. Bottom half of the third in Hamilton. The Joes trailing the Muskegon Clippers in that one 6-0. Bottom half of the fourth in Richmond. The Jazz, they trail St. Clair 3-0 as Eater swings and fouls that one off to the right. Bottom of the fourth, Galleon, the hometown Graders, trailing Irish Hills 4-0. And finally, bottom half of the fourth, the host Grand Lake Mariners up in Saline, Ohio, leading Southern Ohio 2-0. Bottom of the fourth in that game. Eater currently in an 0-2 hole against the left-hander Heil. The pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-2 the count. Ryan Burrell's been waiting on deck for the Scouts, who trail the Monarchs 3-0. Here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 out, nobody on base for Xenia. As Heil winds and throws. Eater swings. And a long fly ball out to center, but a nice running catch by O'Laughlin, the Monarchs center fielder, for the final out of the frame. Once again, the Scouts go down 1-2-3. 4 innings in the books here at Grady's Field. 3-0 in favor of Lake Erie here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom of the fourth here at Grady's Field. Monarchs leading the Scouts 3-0. Actually, top half of the fifth, excuse me. That is what happens when you depend upon the scoreboard, and the scoreboard operator has not shown a 0 in the bottom half of the fourth for the Scouts just yet. Luckily for me, I have a broadcast partner who keeps me on the straight and narrow. Thank you, Riley.
No problem.
Robert Bell, meanwhile, up to bat for the Monarchs. He has flied out to right, and he has an RBI triple to his name in this game, so he's 1 for 2 on the evening so far. And that pitch is in there for a strike from Ben Bills. Bills has done a nice job of getting outs tonight, but the Monarchs, well, they've gotten some key hits off of him so far tonight. 2 runs in the third and 1 run coming in the fourth as that pitch is outside for a ball. 2 of the runs, by the way, for Lake Erie coming on RBI sac flies. So it's not like the Monarchs are taking him to the woodshed offensively as that pitch is ripped down the first baseline foul by Bell. 1-2 the count on the Monarchs designated hitter. 3, 4, 5 batters, the middle of this Lake Erie order coming up here in the top half of the fifth. Bills looks in for a side. He delivers the 1-2. Outside for a ball. 1-2 the count to Robert Bell. Sean O'Keefe waiting on deck.
Bills definitely wants to be careful with Bell because that triple you mentioned, and when he hit that triple, he had 2 strikes on him.
2-2 pitch. This time, this is a grounder. Bacon's going to have to hustle. The throw to first is in time for the first out of the inning. Nice play by Bacon.
Bacon had to get a great jump on that grounder to be able to make that play, and he did. Came in sprinting as soon as it came off the bat and was able to scoop it up and throw it in first in time.
Sean O'Keefe, now the batter for the Monarchs. O'Keefe is lined out to shortstop, and he has also been hit by a pitch. Here is the pitch, and it's grounded down the third baseline foul. By the way, an injury update for you. A young man that we've had the pleasure of watching on shortstop for most of the season for the Scouts. It appears that his season might be over as it is fouled back to the screen by Sean O'Keefe. Of course, we're talking about Noah Orlando, who is going to be leaving Xenia to get an MRI. Apparently suffering some sort of arm, finger injury of some sort. As that pitch is taken inside for a ball. 1-2 the count on Sean O'Keefe. So it looks like the Scouts are going to have to make do with Tuttle at shortstop. Truman Brown will continue to be in there at third as the pitch is looked at for a called strike 3. Sean O'Keefe got caught looking in the observatory for the second out of the inning.
And like you mentioned, Orlando going down with the injury is very unfortunate for the Scouts. Also, catcher Connor Regan has done for the summer with the Scouts. He's returned back to school. So the Scouts, with their pitching woes, are now getting some fielding woes as well.
Not only fielding woes, but, man, Connor Regan was having a good year at the plate. Sad to see him go, but he's got to get ready for the upcoming season with the Wright State Raiders. Here's a fly ball out to right field. Boswell will back up. He will make the catch. And that is that for the Monarchs. Lake Erie goes down 1-2-3. Here in the top half of the fifth. We head to the bottom half of the fifth with the Monarchs still leading the Scouts 3-0 here on the Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the fifth here at Grady's Field. Bottom half of the fifth here at Grady's Field. The Monarchs leading the Scouts 3-0 in this game so far.
Ryan Bertelsmann.
Bertelsmann, the designated hitter, making his way to the plate for Xenia. Bertelsmann struck out looking his last time up.
The Scouts' offense this inning are going to have to try to get something going. One, to give Ben Bills a little rest, and two, to try to bite into this deficit, get back into this game.
Which is outside for a ball. We're going to know the count now on Ryan Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann, Lindsay, and Bacon, the scheduled hitters for the Scouts this frame. Bertelsmann will swing, and he'll loft a fly ball out to center field. O'Loughlin, boy, he's been busy out there tonight. He'll make the catch for the first out of the frame. So now Jared Lindsay will come to the plate. Lindsay has struck out swinging on the night thus far, 0 for 1. The pitch. And Lindsay swings and misses at that one. From Brody Heil. Boy, Heil, the southpaw, has been doing some work out there on the mound for the Monarchs so far. Limiting Xenia to 1 hit so far on the night as that pitch is fouled off to the right. 0-2 the count now on Lindsay.
And Heil's really been doing his damage with those off-speed and breaking pitches. Just really, the Scouts have just not been able to figure him out quite yet.
The pitch, just missing. 1-2 the count. Now on Jared Lindsay as Zach Bacon waits on deck for Xenia. The wind and the pitch. And Lindsay swings, and this one will drop to center field for a base hit. Only the second hit of the night for the Scouts. First hit on the evening for Jarrett Lindsay. He becomes a one-out base runner for Xenia.
Now, some way, somehow, the Scouts got to try to get Lindsay in a scoring position and even try to score. The Scouts either had that other hit, didn't get past first base, so Lindsay would definitely like to get in a scoring position.
Zach Bacon, the second baseman, now up for Xenia. He flew out to center his last time up. Gorgeous night for baseball. Good crowd on hand here at Grady's Field, considering that it's a Thursday night. A lot of folks have work the next day. Pitch is fouled, step into the catcher's mitt by Bacon. 0-1 the count on the Scouts' second sacker. Bacon batting from the right side against the lefty throwing Heil. Heil with the 0-1. That's down low for a ball. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Zach Bacon. Bertelsmann led off this inning with a fly out to center. And then Jared Lindsay followed that up with a single to center. So let's see what Bacon can do right here offensively. 1-1 pitch. And this is going to be hit down the right field line, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Bacon back in the right-handed batter's box. Working with a 1-2 count against Heil. Here's the pitch. Bacon swings and misses. Strike 3. He becomes a strikeout victim. Second out of the inning. And now Truman Brown will come to the plate for Xenia.
That's a 7th strikeout of the game for Heil, and Heil's only seen the Scouts order twice.
So now Truman Brown, he too, a strikeout victim. Now coming back in the 3rd inning. The pitch by Heil. Brown swings and sends a scorcher into left field. Backing up is Dyke. Not able to make the catch, however. Dyke was just simply trying to keep the ball in front of him, trying to avoid that hard bounce off the turf. And so Lindsay moving up to second on the single by Brown. And now an opportunity here for Carter Boswell with 2 gone in the inning.
Scouts got something going a little bit. Might have Heil a little bit shaken up there. They're starting to figure him out, get some hits on him, and hopefully that can translate in this inning and later into the game.
Boswell, a ground out victim to short his last time up. The pitch as outside for a ball. Boy, this is really the first time in this game that Heil's feet have really been put to the fire. Most batters that he had faced up until this point was 4 back in the 2nd inning. Boswell with a check swing, fouls it off, 1-1 the count. And now he's facing his 5th batter here in the bottom of the fifth. Retired the Scouts 1, 2, 3 in the first, the third, and the fourth. And it goes without saying, if you're a pitcher and you retire the 1, 2, 3, helps out your pitch count, helps your team out immensely as that pitch is outside for a ball. 2-1 the count on the man who wears number 2 on the back of his Scouts jersey, Carter Boswell. Boswell windmilling the bat around, waiting on the 2-1 from Heil. Here it comes, and that's down low for a ball. A favorable hitter's count for Boswell, 3-1. Brown at first, Lindsay at second. 2 gone here in the bottom of the fifth. Monarchs leading the Scouts 3-0, but Xenia trying to get their first run of the game right here. 3-1. And this is popped up high in the air. This should end the inning. Under it is the first baseman, O'Keefe, and that will be the final out of the inning. So the Scouts done, but ultimately no runs on 2 hits, a couple men left on base. We head to the top half of the sixth. Still a 3-0 lead for the Monarchs on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the sixth here at Grady's Field. A 3-0 lead for the Lake Erie Monarchs as Ben Bills continues to work out there on the mound for the Scouts. Xenia, meanwhile, only 3 hits on the night. Bills' pitch count is in reasonable shape. It's just that well, now the music has been turned off and we can play baseball. Ben Bills down low for a ball. First batter that he will face here in this inning is Andrew Dyke. Dyke has walked and popped out to shortstop. The pitch. He'll sky this one. Out in center field. Murray with a beat on it. Under it, making the catch for the first out of the frame. And during this inning, we will get you caught up with some scores around Major League Baseball. A couple of finals to pass along to you. Rockies defeat the Diamondbacks 5-1 out in Denver. As my partner Riley Harshman giving a thumbs up on that one, being the Dodgers fan that he is. That'll help his Dodgers squad out a little bit. Athletics, meanwhile, defeating the Astros today 6-4 in Houston. Boy, Oakland's been playing some really good baseball as of late. And all of a sudden, that AL West, along with the Astros, the Mariners, who've been a really good story here in 2018, and now the A's playing some very good baseball. Grounder, Eater, gathers, throws over to Bills. Bills able to race over to the bag, beating Casey O'Laughlin on the play for the second out. Quickly, 2 gone here in the inning. Some other scores around the majors. Guys, Keegan Watson getting set to dig in here. Phillies leading the Orioles in Baltimore 5-1, top half of the seventh in that game. They're going to the top half of the fifth in Pittsburgh as the pitch is inside for a ball to Watson. Pirates with a 2-1 lead over the Milwaukee Brewers in that one. Bills with the pitch. Fouled off to the right. Count is 0-1 on Keegan Watson. 3-3 game between the Yankees and the Indians in Cleveland. Top half of the fourth matchup in that game. Luis Severino versus 2-time Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber. As that pitch is inside for a ball. Bottom half of the fourth at Fenway, the Red Sox trailing the Blue Jays 2-0. Bottom half of the fourth at Citi Field. The Nationals leading the New York Mets 3-2. As that pitch is down low for a ball. 2-1 the count now on Keegan Watson. They're in a rain delay in Minnesota as the Twins are trying to get a game in with the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitch inside, and that'll be a walk for Keegan Watson.
Number 5, Will Prater.
And some West Coast games for you tonight. The Mariners heading out to Anaheim to take on the Angels, and the Dodgers, they are going to be in San Diego taking on the Padres this evening, starting at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are your scores around Major League Baseball. So now Will Prater will come to the plate. Prater with a bunt attempt. Missed rather badly on that attempt as well. 0-1 the count now on the Monarchs second baseman, who has grounded out the second, and he had an RBI sac fly back in the fourth. 3-0 lead for the Monarchs. 2 gone here in the top half of the 6th. As Lindsey trying to hold that ball gently there after the pitch by Bills, but does not get the outside corner he desired from the home plate umpire. Bills sets at the belt. The 1-1. This will be a grounder out to Bacon. Zach with the throw to first, and that'll be the final out of the inning for the Monarchs. No runs, no hits, a man left on base for Lake Erie. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. Still 3-0 in favor of the Monarchs here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Number 4, Cam Murray.
Cam Murray will lead things off for the Scouts as Xenia comes back here in the bottom half of the 6th. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network alongside Riley Harshman. I'm Charlie Dan. So glad that we could have you along for the ride here on this Thursday evening as they have just now turned on the lights here at Grady's Field, but still plenty of sunshine to go around. Unfortunately, not a lot of hits to go around for the Scouts. They only have 3 hits off of the lefty, Heil, as Heil delivers a first pitch ball to Cam Murray. Heil quickly back at it with the 1-0. Murray swings. Grounder over to short. Lambeau up with it. Throw over to first. And that will be the first out of the inning.
So Scouts offense, this is the third go-around in the lineup and the third time they'll be seeing Heil. They're going to have to attack his fastball, sit on his breaking stuff, and try to fluster him, try to get him out of this game because it's only a 3-run deficit, and we've seen the Scouts come back from worse.
7 strikeouts on the night for Heil. But he's also been getting a bevy of ground balls this evening as Nick Tuttle will come to the plate, and he will take a ball outside from the lefty Heil. Tuttle has struck out swinging and struck out looking 0 for 2 on the night thus far. The 1-0. That's down low for a ball. 2-2 the count on Tuttle. Let's see here. According to my scorebook, let's see. 1, 2, only 3 groundouts. Seems like he's got a lot more than that tonight. The pitch. Tuttle fouls it away. He's also been backed up by some really good defense out there in the outfield. It's been a busy night for O'Loughlin, the center fielder, as he has recorded 3 putouts on the night so far.
Usually breaking balls that Heil's been throwing a lot of today usually produce a lot of fly balls.
2-1 pitch. But down the third base line, throw to first will not be in time. That was perfectly placed. Perfectly executed by Nick Tuttle as he's able to get his first hit of the evening.
And a good bump by Tuttle. But what that also does, it gets Heil off his perch up there on the mound. He had to go out and get that and wasn't able to make that play in time. So now with that base runner, Tuttle's going to have to try to make some noise out there and try to get something going for the Scouts.
Graham Welch working on a 0-2 night. He has struck out swinging and flied out to left. Welch will take a strike from Heil. Again, both these teams are going to be facing off against one another Friday night, July 13th. That being tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. And then the Scouts, well, they got themselves a pretty long homestand here. If you don't factor in the days off that they will have during next week's All-Star break. 2 games with the Galleon Graders coming up this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, 7:05 first pitch. Sunday, 4:05 first pitch. Speaking of pitches, here comes one towards home plate. And that's a breaking ball that didn't break to Heil's liking that time, as that was up high for a ball. It's now 2-0 on Welch. After the 2-game set with those Graders, the Scouts will be back in action on July 19th, that being next Thursday, as they welcome in the Sugar Beets for a quick 2-gamer, 19th and the 20th. Both those games scheduled for 7:05. And then Welch takes a ball up high. They appealed down. Did not swing on the pitch. 2-1 count now on Welch. And after that long homestand, guess what? We're heading to Canada, baby. More details on that in just a moment. 2-1 pitch. Welch swings and misses. Now it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Welch. He'll be taking on the Green Giants Saturday and Sunday, July 21st and 22nd. 7:05 first pitch for that Saturday night tilt, and then 3:05 first pitch on Sunday afternoon. As that pitch is inside, runner going, and a stolen base by Nick Tuttle. Great jump by Nick Tuttle that time, as he's able to easily swipe that bag.
And it all starts with a jump for most base runners, and Tuttle got a great jump there. We've seen Heil, his motion going towards the plate is pretty slow, so with a good jump on Tuttle, and then that slow motion really makes it easy for runners to steal bases.
3-2 pitch. On the way. Welch swings and fouls it back. Now, Riley, I don't know about you, but that trip that we're going to be taking, July 21st and 22nd, as the Scouts get set to take on the Green Giants, that will be my very first time on Canadian soil.
As it will be mine as well.
Now, will that also be the first time for you outside of the continental United States?
It will not.
3-2 pitch away from Welch. As this is popped up on the infield. They're probably going to call the infield fly rule on this one, as Lambeau able to make the catch. 2 gone now in the inning.
Number 22, Caleb Eater.
So now Caleb Eater coming to the plate for the Scouts, 1 for 2 with a single back in the second. So when was the last time that you were out of the country?
Last March, not the March of 2017. Went to Bahamas on a cruise. Also went to a couple Caribbean islands. Very nice time, but yeah, needed the passport for that one.
So Eater will now dig in. Pitch upcoming here from Heil, although, boy, he's got his attention at the runner at second. Eater now swings and sends a fly ball out to right field. Watson giving chase. He will not get to it. That ball will rattle up against the wall. It is going to be an RBI triple for Caleb Eater. Boy, oh boy, he was pumping the hands and the knees that time. Good job by Caleb Eater. Hit a solo homer last night, and now he has an RBI triple. Good for him.
Yeah, Eater's got a good bat and a great baseball player, but we definitely don't highlight him for his speed too often. But getting a triple there, who said big guys can't run?
And now the Scouts are finally on the board, still trailing the Monarchs, however, 3-1. Bertelsmann with an RBI opportunity here with 2 gone in the bottom of the 6th. Bertelsmann has struck out looking. He's flied out to center field. The pitch. That's down low. Gets away from the catcher. Eater is going to easily come around to score on a wild pitch from Heil. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. 3-2 in favor of the Monarchs.
It's that 2-out magic that the Scouts have been doing so well all year. 2 outs, and they've been able to score 2 runs.
So Bertelsmann now working for a 1-0 pitch. By the way, just to finish up a point about going out of the country, as Heil delivers and Bertelsmann swings. Grounder over the third. Flaherty with the throw over to first. And that is that for the Scouts. Boy, great play down there at the hot corner. But the Scouts are able to tally 2 runs on only 1 hit. And no men left on base. 6 innings in the books here at Grays Field. 3-2 game in favor of the Monarchs here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 7th here at Grady's Field. It is a 3-2 lead for the Monarchs. Scott getting back in it with a couple of runs. And now a new pitcher on the mound for Xenia. As Owen Pyatt comes in, he takes over for Ben Bills. Bills ended up having himself a pretty solid night on the mound for the Scouts. 6 innings, 3 runs, all them earned on 5 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So now it's up to Pyatt to try to keep this at a 1-run deficit. Again, 3-2 in favor of Lake Erie here in Southwest Ohio, Xenia, Ohio, to be more specific. Pyatt, the right-hander, out there on the mound. And now going up against Casey Slattery, who turned in a gem of a play over there at third base to end the last half inning. He'll take a ball from Pyatt. And as we have talked about in past appearances for Owen Pyatt, the issue for him has been his control, throwing strikes consistently. Let's see if he can do just that for the Scouts here on July the 12th of 2018. 2-0 pitch. Here's a fly ball to center field. Murray diving and can't get to it. This ball is going to roll all the way to the wall. This will be extra bases for Slattery. He's chugging around second. He'll make it into third. It's a triple for Slattery. Great effort by Cam Murray. It's just that he wasn't able to get to that ball in time. And it's a leadoff triple for Slattery to begin the top half of the 7th for Lake Erie.
Yeah, Slattery put a good swing on that ball, and it was also tailing away from Murray. You got to think if that ball wasn't tailing the way it was, Murray might have been able to make the play, but still a great effort by Murray. And unfortunately, when you dive like that as a center fielder, there's really no one behind you to pick up that ball, so rolled all the way to the fence, and Slattery was able to get the 3-bagger.
So Pyatt will now have to readjust here and set his sights on the Monarch shortstop Alex Lambeau, who has gone 2 for 3, with a couple of singles. He's also scored a run in this game. He'll take a pitch outside from Pyatt. Now, the last time Owen Pyatt was on the mound, you got to go back to July the 10th, so only a couple days ago, but he turned in one of his better performances, at least compared to his previous work with the Scouts, as that pitch is outside for a ball. 2-0 the count. 2 1/3 innings pitched for Pyatt. 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks. His ERA is still pretty high, 25.41, as he makes his 5th appearance tonight for the Scouts. In 5 2/3 innings pitched, he has struck out 6 and walked 11. So Pyatt now looking in for his signs from his catcher, Jarrett Lindsey. The pitch in there for a strike. While we're on the subject of pitch, 3-1 is the count. On Lambeau. Pyatt with the pitch. Here's a fly ball into center field for a base hit. That will be an RBI double, it turns out, for Lambeau. That went deeper into the right center field gap than I originally expected. Meanwhile, Slattery is able to score easily on the play. Give Lambeau an RBI on the play as the Monarchs increase their lead to 4-2.
A great piece of hitting there by Lambeau, and Slattery and Lambeau, both with hitters counts, both with big extra base hits. Pyatt's got to do a better job of getting ahead of these hitters, or they're going to hit all over him.
Robert Bell, meanwhile, taking a ball outside from Pyatt. You know, while we're on the subject of pitching, Riley, how do you think Ben Bills did tonight? Thought he did a solid job.
Ben Bills did a very good job tonight. He kept he got behind a little bit, but he kept it manageable.
Fly ball into right field. This will drop for a base hit. They will hold the runner at third, that being Lambeau. And that will be the second hit of the night for Robert Bell, who had an RBI triple back in the third. Runners are at corners. With still nobody out here in the top half of the seventh, and a run already in for the Monarchs, who lead the Scouts 4-2.
Just to finish up my job mixing up his pitches, had great control over all his pitches. He was really hitting Jarrett Lindsey's spots and doing a very good job of working inside, outside, keeping hitters guessing. Ultimately, you throw through 6 innings and only allow 3 runs. That's a good outing.
Sean O'Keefe, the first baseman, has lined out to short, been hit by a pitch, and has struck out looking. Pitch is outside for a ball. Well, you finished up your point about Ben Bills. I want to finish up my point that I wasn't able to get to at the end of the last inning, talking about that upcoming Canadian road trip coming up not this weekend but next weekend. Of course, we're very excited about that trip as the Scouts will be taking on the Green Giants up there in dear old Canada. You were talking about the time that you went down the Caribbean, Riley. One of the experiences that you have had outside of the continental United States. Pyatt with the pitch, meanwhile, and this is fouled off to the right. The only time that I have ever been outside of the continental United States, you got to go back to last fall to be more specific. Got to go to jolly old London, England. Got to see the Browns play the Vikings in one of those London NFL games. And boy, it was quite the experience. As we kind of have a little bit of a delay in the game here, something is going on in the press box that is bothering the home plate umpire. Apparently one of the speakers is buzzing, creating a distraction for all the players out on the field. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors in the field for the Monarchs. Meanwhile, for Xenia, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors in the field. The Monarchs are batting here in the top half of the seventh, and it looks as though that we now have the technological issue solved as Pyatt will get back on the mound. So far this inning, the Monarchs, triple by Slatery, double by Lambeau. That scored Slatery easily, and Robert Bell with a single. Tuttle with the catch. Out at the shortstop position. Snagged a line drive by Sean O'Keefe. That is the second time that O'Keefe has hit the ball right on the screws, right into the glove of Tuttle. 1 gone.
Great job by Tuttle. They're getting a good jump on that line drive. If you think that goes by Tuttle's glove, that's scoring another run and just producing another extra base hit for the Monarchs this inning.
So now Jake Goudreau will send a grounder down the first baseline foul. Goudreau has grounded out to first. He had an RBI sac fly back in the third, and he's also flied out to right field. Goudreau, not to be confused with Boudreau, as in Lou Boudreau, the legendary player/manager for the Cleveland Indians. Sometimes you come across names that roll so easily off the tongue. Goudreau, one of those names. 0-1 pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Right now, so far, Pyatt's location has been all over the place, and the few times he has gotten into the zone has been a base hit for the Monarchs, so he's got to do a better job of locating his pitches lower in the zone.
1-1 pitch. Inside, nice block by Jarrett Lindsey that time. 2-1 the count on Jake Goudreau. Sun continues to set here in Xenia. The field has some remnants of the sunlight, mostly out in right field where Carter Boswell is currently playing for Xenia. Here's a foul off to the left, out of play. 2-2 the count now on Jake Goudreau. 7 minutes past 8:30 here in Xenia. Beautiful night for baseball. Good tempo to this game so far. A lot of folks always talk about the pace of play sometimes in the game of baseball. Fly ball out to right field. Boswell racing it. He will make the catch. He will throw home, and the runner at third is going to stay put. Nice play by Boswell, not only making the catch, but delivering a strong throw back into the infield. Lambeau hesitated, and because of that hesitation, he had no choice but to head back to third base. 2 gone.
I've said it a couple times on this broadcast. Boswell, they're doing a good job of staying behind that fly ball coming into it, so his throw would already be ready, loading as he made the catch, so he can make that throw to home and definitely threaten the runner over there at third.
Pyatt now with the pitch to Andrew Dyke, and that is inside for a ball. So 2 gone here in the top half of the 7th. A run already in thanks to an RBI double by Alex Lambeau. 4-2 lead for the Monarchs as it's fouled back to the screen. Pyatt looking to wriggle off the hook here. Runners at the corners. Lambeau over at third. Bell over at first. Dyke, the batter, who has walked, popped out to short, and flied out to center field so far tonight. Dyke sends a grounder over to third. Brown bobbling it. Throw to first is just in time for the final out of the frame. Way to stick with it there, Truman. So 1 run scores for Lake Erie on 3 base hits. And a couple men are left on base for the Monarchs as well. Stretch time here is Xenia. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Monarchs 4, Scouts 2 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the 7th here at Grady's Field. 4-2 lead for the Lake Erie Monarchs as the Scouts come to bat once again.
Number 25, Jarrett Lindsay.
So now Jarrett Lindsay will lead things off for the Scouts. 1 for 2 on the night with a single coming back in the 5th inning alongside Riley Harshman. I'm Charlie Danis. This is a presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. As Lindsay takes a strike from the lefty Heil, who is still out there on the mound for the Monarchs. Boy, Heil, who gave up 7 runs in this previous inning, he's been looking great out there on the mound for the Monarchs so far. As Lindsay swings and misses at that one, it's now an 0-2 hole for Jarrett Lindsay. Heil so far in the night, 2 runs on 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, and no walks in 6 innings of work. Lindsay now sends a fly ball out to center field. O'Loughlin will back up a little bit. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning.
And the Scouts, since the start of the 6th inning, have done a lot better job of putting the ball in play against Heil here, and that will only bode well for the future.
Zach Bacon, the second baseman, now up to bat. 0 for 2 on the night with a fly out to center and a strikeout swinging. Heil with the pitch. Down low for a ball. 1-0 the count on Bacon. Beautiful horizon overhead as evening is descending upon Xenia, Ohio. Bacon sends a grounder out to Lambeau, the shortstop. Lambeau up with the throw, and it is in time for the second out. Quickly 2 gone here for the Scouts in the bottom of the 7th.
Number 3, Truman Brown.
Truman Brown now coming to the plate. Single his last time up back in the 5th. The Scouts, with only 2 runs in this game, RBI triple by Caleb Eater, and then Eater coming around to score on a wild pitch from Heil. That's been about it for the Scouts from an offensive standpoint, as that pitch is outside for a ball to Truman Brown. 1-0 the count on the Scouts' third baseman. The pitch. Brown will swing, and he'll send a fly ball out into center field. O'Loughlin back, making the catch, and shallow center field. And once again, the Scouts go down 1-2-3. Heading to the top half of the eighth here at Grady's Field. Monarchs 4, Scouts 2 here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the eighth here at Grady's Field. Scouts trailing the Monarchs 4-2. Owen Pyatt, right-hander, back on the mound for the Scouts. Did give up a run in the seventh inning, allowing the Monarchs to stretch the lead to 2. But again, Riley staying positive here. Pyatt looking a lot better on the mound. I think he's starting to get his bearings under him as his first pitch to Casey O'Loughlin is outside for a ball.
Yeah, the seventh inning, it started out shaky, allowing those first three guys to get on via big hits, but settled in.
High fly ball out to center field. Cam Murray going back in, making the catch for the first out.
To finish up that thought about Pyatt, he finished out that inning with 3 outs after the first 3 hits and just honed in on the strike zone, honed in on the lower half of the strike zone, and located his fastball a lot better, and that's how he was able to get out of the jam in that last inning.
Watson, the right fielder, now standing in for the Monarchs. He has popped out to short. He has singled, and he has a walk in this game. As that pitch is outside for a ball. Ben Bills was the guy who got the start for the Scouts, and now Owen Pyatt on the hill, working in his second inning of relief for Xenia tonight. As the count is now 1-1 strike on Watson. Hill. Watson playing in right field this evening for the Monarchs. Here's the 1-1. That is on the outside corner for a call strike. Nice job by Owen there, spotting the fastball on the outside corner as he gets ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now the next pitch, called strike 3. Keegan Watson caught looking that time for the second out of the inning. Nice pitch by Pyatt.
Yeah, definitely caught him looking there. There's a little slider on Watson that just kind of kept hooking to the outside part of the plate and just kept hooking and stayed right there. Umpire called strike 3.
So now Will Prater will come to the plate. 0 for 2 on the night, although he does have an RBI thanks to a sac fly that came back in the 4th inning. Now here's a grounder out to short. Tuttle up with it. Throw to first just in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Owen Pyatt. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Scouts, they need base runner. They need Owen Pyatt. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Scouts, they need base runner. They need runs. They trail the Monarchs 4-2 here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. Mm-hmm. Runs. They trail the Monarchs 4-2 here on the Senior Scouts Radio Network. Mm-hmm. By the way, the pieces team has been beautiful. Absolutely. Bottom half of the eighth here at Grady's Field. As the Scouts will come to bat once again. Cam Murray will lead things off. Actually, I take that back. Carter Boswell will lead things off for the Scouts. Well, if you really think about it, the 9-hitter could be the second leadoff hitter. Can set the table as we go to the top half of the order, and Boswell will look to do just that for the boys from Xenia. Monarchs 4, Scouts 2. Bottom half of the eighth here at Grady's Field. Lovely night for baseball. Heil, the left-hander, back to work. And that breaking ball drops in beautifully for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Heil pitching into the eighth inning tonight. And boy, if you're the Monarchs, you are loving what you have been seeing from Heil as Boswell, swings and misses. 1-1 the count. They call Carter the Boz. Not to be confused with Brian Bosworth, former All-American linebacker at Oklahoma. Pitch is a called strike 3. Boswell becomes a strikeout victim. One gone here in the inning.
And here against Cam Murray, Heil will be throwing his 100th pitch of the game, so done a very good job of keeping his pitch count low as he keeps going on here in the eighth.
So Cam Murray up at bat for the Scouts. He'll take a ball down low. It's been a quiet night for Cam offensively. He has grounded out to shortstop twice, and he's also flied out to right field. 0 for 3 on the evening. Murray looking to get a potential rally started here for the Scouts. Heil with the pitch. That is taken for a strike in the outside corner. 1-1 the count on Cam Murray.
It's very rare we see Murray go hitless in a game, so definitely look for him to be aggressive and get that first hit of the game here.
That pitch is down low. 2-1 the count now on Murray. Monarchs 4 runs on 8 hits. Scouts 2 runs on 5 hits. That pitch is up high for a ball, and neither team, by the way, has committed an error in the field. This has been a well-pitched, well-played game in the field.
And not too many walks either.
The pitch. Inside for a ball. And speaking of the devil, Cam Murray is able to earn a free pass, which, by the way, is the first walk of the night for Heil, which just gives you an idea of how pinpoint his control has been tonight.
Yeah, that's perfect if you're a pitcher and your first walk is a starting pitcher, I should say, and your first walk is in the 8th inning, showing how great your control is, and you're not giving out any free bases, which is also very good.
So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Singled. Later came around the score on an RBI triple by Caleb Eater back in the 6th inning. Tuttle swings and fouls it off to the right. 0-1 the count. And boy, oh boy, the Keys have been very, very busy here tonight at the ballpark. Of course, if you come here to Grady's Field, we need those balls to keep playing. So if you have kids and you come out to a ball game here at Grady's Field, have them grab the foul ball, and they will give you a special treat up here in the press box. As that pitch is up high for a ball. 1-1 the count on Nick Tuttle. Shadow completely encompassing the playing surface here at Grady's Field. The pitch, runner going, ball down low, and a stolen base for Cam Murray. Second stolen base of the night for the Scouts. Nick Tuttle, the batter now for Xenia, had one back in the 6th inning.
Tuttle, the leader in this Scouts team in RBIs, now has a runner in scoring position. He would love to add on to his RBI total this summer.
2-1 pitch. Upcoming here from Heil. And time has now been called. Time granted to Nick Tuttle after Heil focused a lot of his attention on Cam Murray back over there at second. One gone here in the bottom half of the 8th. Scouts down 4-2 to Lake Erie. Runner at second. Throw back to second. And oh boy, that throw almost went into the center field that time. Prater, the second baseman, had to make a little bit of a snag out there. Otherwise, that ball was ticketed for center field. And more bases possibly for Cam Murray.
Yeah, that would have got past Prater. There's a big gap out there in right center field where that ball could have just rolled and rolled and rolled all the way to the fence.
Tuttle, meanwhile, with the 2-1, and this will be popped up, and it is caught by the catcher. Boy, bad luck there for Nick Tuttle. It was bad enough that he popped up the bunt attempt, but a great snag made by Goudreau as he was able to get his bare hand on the ball first and then corral it with his glove for the second out.
Yeah, tremendous hand-eye coordination from the catcher there. Still had his mask on even when that all happened. So that just adds on to it when your vision's already blocked by your face mask and you're still able to see the ball and make the play.
So 2 gone now in the inning, and Graham Welch at the plate for the Scouts. Heil will throw a strike on the inside corner. And boy, Heil was very deliberate in his delivery.
Yeah, that what he just did could definitely be considered a balk right there. With that pause he did with his leg coming up. Cam Murray was even pointing at him, noticing that the same thing.
0-1 pitch on the way. That is in there for a strike. And now Welch finds himself in an 0-2 hole. The runner at second is Cam Murray. Scouts trying to get some more offense going here. They've had a tough time against the left-hander Heil. Meanwhile, Heil looking to set the Scouts down right here. 0-2. Grounder over to short. Lambeau up with it. Throw to first is true. And the Scouts are retired here in the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits. A man left on base for the Scouts. We head to the top half of the 9th. Monarchs 4, Scouts 2 here on the Z Scouts Radio Network. Oh my God. My brother was at Hooters.
Yeah. Thanks to our sponsor, Snap Fitness. Thank you, Snap Fitness, for supporting your Xenia Scouts. Kids, a reminder, first time out of Hooters. To the broadcast booth, we thank you very much. And in return, you get a surprise. So make sure you return those foul balls to the broadcast booth.
Just thought about it. Why is she going to get food now? This game's almost over.
I don't know. So dumb. I mean, we should have a resident PA announcer that should stick here for the entire game. At least you would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how Dave puts up with that crap. Actually, Dave was the one that told her to do it.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave. Can't you send somebody else around to do some action over to the booth?
I don't know.
Top half of the 9th here at Grady's Field. Scouts looking to keep it at a 2-run deficit. Casey Slattery now coming to the plate, the third baseman. A triple his last time up. As the pitch from Owen Pyatt. It's down low for a ball. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman bringing the action tonight from Xenia. Here on a Thursday evening. Pyatt delivers, and here's a high pop-up into foul territory. Brown will give it a look, but that one will ultimately be out of play. 1-1 the count on Slattery. Pyatt with a pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2-1 the count on Casey Slattery. 1, 2, and 3 hitters for the Monarchs this frame as that pitch bounces away from Jared Lindsay. 3-1 the count. Now on Slattery. Alex Lambeau, the shortstop, waiting on deck for Lake Erie. Pitch is in there for a strike. So now the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes on Slattery. Well, as we mentioned, Lake Erie in the basement of the Northern Division. As that pitch is down low, and Slattery will take a walk on down to first base. Lake Erie entering play tonight with an 11-16 mark, 6 games back of the division-leading Locos and Green Giants of St. Clair. By the way, that's where the Canada trip will be, in St. Clair. Meanwhile, Xenia, they've lost 15 out of their last 18 games, but you know what, folks? Could be worse. Could be the Licking County Settlers got swept in a doubleheader today. They fell to 6-22 They are 15 games back of Cincinnati in the Southern Division. The pitch. That is in there for a strike. And boy, oh boy, man, it has been a tough year for Licking County. You think Xenia's pitching problems have been bad. The Settlers, they make Xenia's issues with their pitching staff pale in comparison. Here's a bunt up the third base line. Racing in is Truman Brown. Throw over to first is in time for the first out. As Slattery is able to move up to second on the play. Nice play by Brown, by the way, as he's able to get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Brown got a great jump on that bunt. And Lambo, with that bunt, when a bunt is high in the zone, it's sometimes difficult for a hitter to get that ball on the ground because when it's high in the zone, you like to put your bat up to it, and that usually creates a pop-up with your bunt. But Lambo, they're able to get it down on the ground.
Robert Bell, meanwhile, taking a ball outside from Owen Pyatt. Bell on the night has flied out to right. He has tripled and scored. He has grounded out to second, and he has also singled. And the pitch is outside. 2-0 the count. Bell, the left-handed batter, with the pitch, and that is swung on and missed. Nice job by Pyatt.
Seemed like Pyatt threw a little bit of a change up there. Definitely wasn't his fastball. Took a little bit off it, and Bell was out ahead of it.
It's a quote from the Hall of Famer Warren Spahn that perfectly encapsulates the pitcher versus hitter battle that takes place in a baseball game. Hitting is timing. Pitching is disrupting that timing. 2-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. And Bell will take a walk. First walk of the night for Bell, and the third time tonight that he has reached safely. So still one out here in the top half of the ninth. 4-2 game in favor of the Monarchs. And now a pinch hitter coming to the plate here for Lake Erie. Griffin Mazur, 5'11", 180-pound junior out of California, Irvine. As the pitch is inside for a ball. Oh, you're going to love this. Native of Moo Park, California. That's pretty good right there. 1-0 pitch. That's outside for a ball. Now, Riley, if memory serves me correct, California, Irvine, those are the anteaters, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, not to be confused with the banana slugs of Santa Cruz. I tell you, college nicknames sometimes, they can be so much fun. Grounder just under the glove of Tuttle as it'll go into left center. Throw back into the infield. And now the bases are loaded after what I would think is a single by Sean O'Keefe. We're going to have to wait and see how they score that as it went under the glove of Tuttle. It was hard hit. It looked like a hard play, at least from up here.
Yeah, I would give that a single because of all those things you just said, and also the base runner at second, who I believe was Slattery, did what base runners are supposed to do on grounders like that, is stayed in front of the field or blocked his view of the ball, and Tuttle couldn't really see the ball until it's right up on him.
Looks like they have indeed scored that a hit. Speaking of hits, there's a base hit into right field. A run will come in to score. An RBI single for Jake Goudreau as he picks on the first pitch from Pyatt. It's now a 5-2 lead for the Monarchs.
Number 4, Andrew Dyke.
So those walks coming back to haunt Pyatt already, with the first one scoring and the second one in scoring position at third.
And it's only one out here in the top half of the ninth. Pitches up high to Andrew Dyke, who has walked, popped out to shortstop, flied out to center, and grounded out to third. So technically, he's still trying to get his first hit of the night. So that pitch is up high for a ball. Bases are loaded. Only one gone here in the top half of the ninth, and one run already in for the Monarchs here in this frame, as the Monarchs continue to lead the Scouts this time by a score of 5-2. Pyatt straightens up on the mound. Here comes the next pitch, and that is swung on and missed by Dyke. The runner at first is Jake Goudreau, who struck just moments ago with an RBI single to right. Sean O'Keefe is at second, and Robert Bell sits at third. The pitch. That is up high for a ball.
Pike's going to have to bring these pitches down to prevent more hits, more big hits from happening here, and also just get in the strike zone, throw strikes, because Scouts only down 3 going into the bottom of the ninth. Pike wants to keep this deficit manageable.
2-1 pitch in their first strike. And Dyke was walking towards first base, which leads me to believe, yep, okay, now we've made the correction. It's now 3-2. Pyatt with the pitch. That is inside. That hit the batter. And now Jarrett Lindsey, oh boy, he's shaking up again. I think he might have injured his thumb again. He takes off his mask in frustration. As a run comes in to score on the bases loaded walk by Andrew Dyke, giving him an RBI on the play as Robert Bell crosses the plate for the second time tonight. And now a 6-2 lead for the Monarchs. Lindsey now being checked out by the Xenia training staff. Hopefully he's okay. Boy, we saw him go down in a heap earlier this year on a similar play. Now he's grabbing the back of his head. I don't know, just pure speculation on my part.
Looks like the trainer's checking out his abdomen, his oblique area.
Boy, you want to talk about an injury that in the last few years has become an epidemic around baseball. It's been the oblique injury. Riley, I'm curious. You're a former player. Why is that the case?
The oblique, it's right in your core. So your core is everything in baseball. It's where you throw, where you swing. It's part of everything. And when your oblique starts hurting, it's hard to do those things that you need to do in baseball, which is throw and hit. So when your oblique has some pain in it, you definitely want to be careful with it.
Casey O'Loughlin, the center fielder, now standing in for Lake Erie, still with the bases loaded here. And 2 runs have crossed the plate here in the top half of the ninth. O'Loughlin has singled, walked and scored, grounded out to first, and flied out to center. Brown giving it a look in foul territory, but that'll be out of play. As the count will go to 1 ball and 1 strike on O'Loughlin. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Lake Erie. Meanwhile, for the Scouts, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors in the field for the boys from Xenia. The pitch. That's inside for a ball. 2-1 the count on O'Loughlin. The pitch. And this is Scott into right field. Boswell racing in. No, actually, it is Cam that makes the catch in center. So Murray with the catch for the second out of the inning. And all the base runners, they will have to stay put for right now. So now Keegan Watson will come to the plate for Lake Erie. He has popped out to short. He has singled. He has walked, and he has struck out looking. All part of a 1-for-3 night. The pitch. Down low for a ball. 6-2 is currently the lead for Lake Erie, and Owen Pyatt would like to get out of this bases loaded jam and give his team a fighting chance by the time they bat in the bottom half of the ninth, as that pitch is fouled off to the right. 1-1 the count now on Keegan Watson. Watson, the native of Fountaintown, Indiana, and a Nebraska Cornhusker as well. Typically a very strong program out of the Big Ten. As that pitch is swung on and missed. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Keegan Watson. The runner at first is Andrew Dyke. The runner at second is Jake Goudreau. And the runner at third is Sean O'Keefe. The pitch is outside. 2-2 the count on Watson. Waiting on deck for Lake Erie is Will Prater. The pitch swung on and missed. Pyatt gets himself a strikeout. And he strands the bases loaded as well. But 2 runs do come across for Lake Erie on a couple of base hits. We head to the bottom half of the ninth. It is Xenia trailing Lake Erie 6-2 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
61 pitches for Pyatt. 3 innings.
Go for the complete game shutout here.
No, that's a new guy. He's just yeah. I would say Alex Tice, Ohio State guy.
Who's it again, by the way?
Alex Tice, Theis. Yeah. I would say Tice.
It's not Theus. I'm gonna go with
Something.
Tice too.
Definitely something. Alex.
Alex Tice, the left-hander, on the mound for the Monarchs as the night for the lefty Heil is done. And what an inning, or what a game, I should say, it was for the lefty, Brody Heil. The Grange, Kentucky native ends up going 8 innings, giving up 2 runs. Both of them earned on 5 hits. Struck out 8 and walked 1. And, you know, Riley got to give credit where credit is due. Heil kept the Scouts off balance all night long, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's a quality start if I've ever seen one. And he can't do much better than what he did today. 8 strikeouts, I should say, and 1 walk. That's amazing right there within itself. He was working his breaking pitches, his off-speed pitches very well, had good command of his fastball, and just kept the Scouts hitters off balance for most of the night.
So now let's go ahead and get to know Alex Tice a little bit. Tice is a native of New Regal, Ohio. He is an Ohio State Buckeye. 6 foot, 220-pound sophomore over there in Columbus. Enters play tonight with a record of 0-1, earned run average of 3.29. This is his 8th appearance of the season. He has made a couple starts on the year for the Monarchs and also has a save to his name. And in 13 and 2/3 innings pitched, he has struck out 23 and he has walked 11, excuse me. This is technically not a save situation for him, as the Monarchs are up by 4, 6-2 here in the bottom half of the ninth. But if he was able to give up a run, then that would qualify as a save. As Caleb Eater takes a first pitch strike from Tice. Tice will set at the belt. Now he'll deliver. And the breaking ball misses. 1-1 the count. Eater, Bertelsmann, and Lindsay. He will try to pave the way for a potential rally for the Scouts here in the bottom of the ninth as Eater takes a pitch outside. Eater on the night, by the way, 2 for 3 with a triple. And boy, he was huffing and puffing and pumping his arms. Not known for his speed as Eater, but, you know, got to love the hustle from the big man. Eater swings and misses at that one, and now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tice, the left-hander, set on the mound. Now the delivery. Here's a fly ball down the right field line. It's going to be out of play. Foul.
Eater doesn't have too many RBIs on the year. That's usually because he starts the big innings for the Scouts with a base hit or a walk or whatever it may be. So Eater and the position he's very familiar with. Yeah.
Tice, back to work, 2-1. And that hit Eater. How in the world was he able to get out of the way of that pitch? That pitch seemed destined for any number of places on his front leg, but somehow, some way, Eater was able to avoid that pitch. That is amazing. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right. I mean, seriously, what are the chances of that ball not hitting his leg that last time? Wow.
Was definitely coming right for his leg, but he found a way to get out of the way. That's that hitter's intuition.
That and quick reflexes, too. Definitely quicker than me. That would have ended up on my ankle. As that pitch is outside, Caleb Eater with a nice at-bat right there. Able to get a walk out of Tice. Well, the rallies have to start some way. Eater getting on safely, and now Ryan Bertelsmann will come to the plate. Bertelsmann, a fly-out victim, and he's also struck out looking. Tice sets on the mound. The pitch. That opens at Bertelsmann as it comes dangerously inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Last time that Tice gave up a run of any sort. How about this? You got to go all the way back to June 15th when he allowed 2 runs against Cincinnati. And here's a grounder into right field for a base hit. Eater will take a turnaround second, but he'll stay put after the single by Bertelsmann.
And that's just the signature Bertelsmann hit we're used to seeing, either in between the shortstop or third baseman, right there between the second baseman and first baseman. That's where he's been operating so well this year for the Scouts. Either wherever that pitch is pitched is where he takes it.
Goudreau, the catcher, will now head up there to the hill to talk with his left-hander, Tice. A 6-2 lead for Lake Erie, but the Scouts have had their first 2 batters reach safely. Eater with a walk and Bertelsmann with a single. And now Jarrett Lindsey will come to the plate. Lindsey with a base hit back in the 5th inning. That's been about it. Part of a 1-for-3 effort so far on the night. Lefty on righty matchup. Tice, the southpaw, and Lindsey, the right-handed batter. Tice will now come set. He delivers. Down low, 1-0 the count. Again, we're talking about a pitcher in Tice who has not given up an earned run since June the 15th. A home game involving the Cincinnati Steam. The Scouts looking to change that right here. Tice with the pitch. Lindsey swings and fouls it off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tice finds himself in a bit of a jam here. Still nobody out here in the bottom half of the 9th. Eater takes his lead off of second. Bertelsmann does the same off of first. Meanwhile, Jarrett Lindsey waiting on the 1-1 pitch from Tice. And Tice will now spin around and will make Eater scamper on back to second.
If I'm Jarrett Lindsey right now, I'm looking at that big gap between the center and right field. There's such a big gap. So if Lindsey's able to see an outside pitch in the strike zone, look for him to try to take it that way and put it into that gap.
1-1 pitch. That drops in for a called strike as Tice gets ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tice with a beautiful curveball that time. Lindsey back in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-2. Outside. Tice wanted the outside corner on that one. But instead, the count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lindsey back into the right-handed batter's box as Tice gets a sign from the 2-2. Swung on and missed as Lindsey becomes the first out of the inning. Now Zach Bacon coming to the plate once again. 0 for 3 on the night with a fly out to center, a strikeout swinging, and a ground out to short.
We've definitely seen Bacon's offensive game pick up here in the latter half of the season for the Scouts, and they need his bat right now.
Bacon swings and misses as he went after a fastball outside. 0-1 the count on Zach Bacon. Tice can definitely bring it from up there on the hill. 6 foot, 220 pounds. A well-built young man, I'd say. 0-1. That catches the inside corner for a called strike. Bacon with a 2 strikes and nothing count. Tice looking in for his sign once again. Looking to put away Bacon in this spot.
Definitely be looking for a breaking ball.
0-2. And there was the breaking ball, and it missed badly outside. 1-2 the count. That was the picture-perfect definition of a waste pitch.
I'd agree, partner. That pitch, good breaking ball. Breaking a little bit towards his own, but definitely not anywhere close to it. Try to get Bacon a chase on it a little bit.
1-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3 on the inside corner. 2 gone. So after surrendering a walk to Eater and a single to Bertelsmann, Alex Tice has rebounded with back-to-back strikeouts of Lindsey and Bacon. And now it's up to Truman Brown to keep this game going for the Scouts. 6-2 lead for the Monarchs. 2 gone here in the bottom of the ninth. Runners on first and second. Brown, 1 for 3 on the night with a single back in the fifth. And he will send a foul ball off to the right. 0-1 the count on Truman. Boy, the Scouts end up losing this game. 16th loss in their last 19 tries. And their third straight loss as well. 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Brown back in the right-handed batter's box. Awaiting 1-1 pitch from Alex Tice. Here it is. Brown swings and fouls it off, and now the Scouts are down to their final strike. If this lead holds up, Ben Bills will get the loss for Xenia, and lefty Heil will get the win for the Monarchs. Brown back in the batter's box, waiting on the 1-2 from Tice. The pitch. Outside. 2-2 the count as Goudreau had to slide step that time to keep that ball from going to the backstop. So 2s across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the ninth. Runners at first and second. Xenia trailing Lake Erie 6-2. Truman Brown looking to keep this game going. Tice with the pitch. Brown swings and misses, and that is how the ball game will end. Your final from Grady's Field tonight. Monarchs 6, Scouts 2. Riley and I will be back to wrap things up here at Grady's Field in just a moment.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight here at Grady's Field. Your final score this evening, Monarchs 6, your Scouts 2. Join us tomorrow night at 7:05 as we take on the Monarchs again here at home, and Saturday and Sunday at 7. And a safe trip home. We will see you tomorrow here at 7:05 and 4:05, respectively, as we take on the Raiders here at Grady's Field. We hope you have a great evening and a safe trip home. We will see you tomorrow.
Riley, when you look back at this game, bottom line is the Scouts weren't able to do all that much against the Lake Erie left-hander Brody Heil.
Yeah, Heil had a tremendous game up on the hill. Starting when you're starting to go 8 innings, that's obviously a good start. And he was just humming it in there. He had good control of his fastball. His breaking pitches, what we were saying, really set him apart today. He was just locating them very well. And the Scouts were just off balance at the plate when he was throwing those breaking pitches. He had 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and that 1 walk is huge when you're not allowing free bases of the Scouts team that's so good on the base paths. Really can stun their offense.
Heil turning in a tremendous performance on the mound for the Monarchs tonight as he improves to 2-3. Meanwhile, Riley, when we look back at this game, Ben Bills, he was pretty good on the mound. He gave up a couple runs, here and there, but for the most part, he allowed his team to stay in it. I know Owen Pyatt would have liked to have had a couple of those runs back as he came on in relief, but you know what? He's been pitching better as of late as well.
Yeah, Bills had a good start today. Only 3 runs. That's a good start in 6 innings, and there was plenty of chances for the Monarchs to let an inning snowball on Bills, but Bills stunted them. He allowed base runners, but ultimately he got out of innings. He's done a good job of that all year, getting in and out of jams. Pitched the contact very well, and Pyatt, another decent outing for Pyatt. He did a good job. He allowed a few hits. He allowed base runners, but ultimately he's able to get out of those innings without it snowballing and getting out of hand.
And Bill, unfortunately, the hard luck loser in this game as he drops to 1-6. Well, be sure to join us tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say, for another Xenia Scouts baseball experience here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Riley and I will have the call for you in Game 2 of this short 2-game set between on 10 hits, no errors in the field. They leave 11 men on base. Meanwhile, for the Scouts, 2 runs on 6 hits. They do not commit a single error in the field, and they leave 6 men on base. For my broadcast partner, Riley Harshman, this is Charlie Danis saying one final time. The final score tonight from Grady's Field is Lake Erie 6, Xenia 2. So long and good night from Xenia, Ohio.